Find it difficult trying to share your faith with people? Maybe you don't want to come off pushy, or you don't want to come off too theological, go over their heads. I know the struggle is hard, trying to pick your spot, trying to find that perfect segue into sharing your faith. Well, in this video, I want to give you 6 tips on how to get in there and share your faith with anyone. I mean, absolutely anyone. This is about a book. An easy way to break the ice and share your faith is to share your faith journey or testimony. Nobody knows your testimony better than you. You don't have to be a theologian to explain how God transformed your life. Just give a brief overview of who you used to be. Explain how you came to know Jesus, who introduced you to Jesus. Talk about the journey, the process, the struggle, the joy, and how more fulfilled your life is now that you know Jesus. Then you can segue and ask that person, do they have a similar story? If they don't, you can proceed with giving them the gospel. That's a good starting point. Another great way of sharing your faith is to be hospitable. Invite some of your unbelieving friends, family, and neighbors over for dinner. This allows for informal and natural conversations, and you don't have to force a conversation about God, because if they come over, if they accept your invitation, they already know that conversation is coming. Eventually they're going to be anticipating that conversation, so let it happen organically. Let various topics arise, let them get comfortable, and then you can strategically pick your spot and when you want to insert a conversation about God. Remember, Jesus, he ate with sinners and unbelievers. If a person feels like you care about them on a physical level, they may open up to you and trust you more on a spiritual level. So be hospitable. Be an example of Jesus Christ. Conduct yourself in a way that will cause people to see Jesus through you. Seek to serve others. Be a servant. Be a helper. Be kind to those who aren't kind to you. 1 Timothy 4 verse 12 says, "Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, in purity." First and foremost, it doesn't matter how old you are. You can be an example of Jesus Christ. In your speech, choose words that edify and uplift. Conduct yourself in a way that brings honor to your family. Demonstrate faith when others are fearful, right? Live an upright life. If you do those things, people will take notice and wonder, what makes you act that way? Why are you that way? Another great way of sharing your faith is being vulnerable. Be human, be transparent. It's okay to tell your unbelieving friends that you had a bad day. It's okay to be vulnerable, right? You can tell them that there's 2 types of people in this world: sinners in recovery and sinners who need recovery. Tell them that everybody struggles with something, whether it be pride, loving an enemy, trying to show forgiveness. And then you can explain to them that the reason why you have the capacity to show forgiveness is because of the gospel. The gospel of Jesus Christ has shown us forgiveness, so we have the capacity to show others forgiveness. Use a conversation like this to bridge the gap between those who are stuck in sin and the gospel, which is salvation and forgiveness. Also, invite a friend to church, but be strategic. Don't just invite them to any type of service. Invite them to an outreach event like a potluck, a small group Bible study. You don't want to just invite them to a Sunday service right away, because a person, an unbeliever, may not come to a church service, a Sunday type service, to hear a sermon right away, but they will come to an outreach event, a potluck, a block party, something of that nature. They will come to something like that. And also, you can make a post on Facebook. You can share pictures of activities of what your church is doing, ways to spark interest in the unbeliever's mind. I know it sounds simple, but be honest, how many of us actually do this? We don't do it because we're afraid of the rejection, but we have to just find ways to invite our unbelieving friends to church. And I'm not suggesting you invite the same person 10 times, but you'll be amazed who responds. And also, ask thought-provoking questions. Ask questions like, what do you think happens when we die? Why are we here? What's the purpose of life? These questions are guaranteed to spark an engaging conversation. You can also ask Questions like, what do you think about church? Or have you ever read the Bible? These questions are designed to get the mind flowing, and not to engage in debate, but rather exchange thoughts so you can establish a biblical worldview and foundation for them to grapple with. And however they respond, you can ask them a question like, what made you come to that conclusion, to really get them thinking about what they believe. And whether they receive it or not, ultimately, it's not our decision. That's between them and God. If you found this video helpful and you want more content like this, subscribe to my channel to stay in tune with everything I'm doing. Like this video as well. Leave a comment. Let me know if you struggle sharing your faith. As always, this is By the Book. Peace.